They say ignorance is a kind of mercy. We do not know when we will die, because if we did, we might stop living. But imagine, one night, God appears before you and whispers, "I will show you the exact day you will die." Would you want to see it? Would you have the courage to live, knowing the countdown has begun? For centuries, prophets and philosophers have prayed for knowledge of their future. But none have asked for this, to see the end of their own life, because some truths are too heavy for the human heart. Part 1. The gift of knowledge or the curse of fear. Imagine for a moment, you open your eyes tomorrow morning, and on your wall, written in faint golden light, is a date you've never seen before. At first, you're confused, but then it hits you. That's your date, the day your heart will stop beating. You try to ignore it, but you can't. Every plan, every dream, every smile now carries a silent weight. You start counting days, months, hours, not living, but waiting. What if the knowledge of your death doesn't make you wise, but paralyzes you? People often say, "If I knew when I would die, I'd live better." But in truth, most would live in chains, because the fear of the end can steal the beauty of the present. Only the brave could hold such knowledge and still smile, still love, still believe that every breath, even the last, is a gift. Part 2. The man who asked to know. There was once a man, faithful, devoted, but anxious about death. Every night his prayers ended the same way. "Greater than Lord, grant me the knowledge of my final day, so that I may prepare my soul before it's too late." He fasted, he prayed, he begged, and one night God answered his plea. In a dream, the man found himself standing in a garden of light. A voice said, "My child, you seek what most hearts cannot bear. But since you insist, look," and before him a number appeared, clear, sharp, and undeniable. The date of his death. He woke trembling, at first grateful. He thought, "Now I can be ready." But as days passed, the peace vanished. He couldn't sleep. Every morning felt like sand slipping through his fingers. Every sunset whispered, "You're closer now." His laughter died, his joy faded, and even when people asked him to join them for a meal or a prayer, he refused, saying, "What's the point?" The day finally came. He knelt in prayer and whispered, "I am ready, Lord." But before his final breath, a voice echoed again. "You feared the day I gave you more than you loved the days before it." And with that, his soul departed, heavy not with sin, but with wasted time. Part 3. The woman who refused to see. There was also a woman, gentle, devout, and full of faith. God gave her the same offer. Greater than, "Would you like to know the day you will die?" She closed her eyes and said softly, "No, Lord. If I knew, I might stop trusting you. Let me live with faith, not fear." And God smiled upon her heart. She woke every morning as if it were her last, not in sorrow, but in gratitude. She laughed loudly. She forgave quickly. She prayed for others more than herself. And when her final day arrived, she didn't even know it was her last sunrise. But heaven did. As she held her rosary and whispered, "Ave Maria," her soul slipped away in peace. An angel said, "She never asked when. She only trusted who." Part 4. The weight of knowing. We think that knowing the truth will give us peace, but some truths are not meant to be carried by human hearts. Imagine if you woke up one morning and God had written your death date on your soul. No one else could see it. only you. Every time you looked in the mirror, it burned faintly beneath your skin, reminding you, this day is coming. At first, maybe you'd feel powerful. You'd stop wasting time, stop chasing meaningless things. You'd feel focused, almost holy. But slowly, that power would turn into a chain. You'd start thinking not about how to live, but about how to avoid dying. Every accident, every illness, every strange noise in the night, you'd ask yourself, is this it? Is this how it happens? You'd become a prisoner of your own prophecy. That's why God hides the day. Not because he enjoys keeping secrets, but because he knows the weight of knowing would destroy your freedom. Free will only exists when you don't know how your story ends. If you already knew your death date, every decision would be poisoned by fear. You'd love less because you'd know it won't last. You'd laugh less because you'd count every moment. You'd stop trusting because certainty kills faith. And that's why God whispers instead of showing, greater than trust me. The end is already written, but it's not yours to carry. The weight of knowing belongs to God alone, because if he placed it in our hands, we'd forget how to lift our hearts. Part 5. The silent lesson. We often ask God, why don't you tell us more? But maybe silence is his way of teaching. Every day, you wake up and think it's just another morning. But heaven doesn't see it that way. Every sunrise is a message, a whisper from God saying, I've given you one more chance to love me, one more day to change, one more breath to prepare. One day, that whisper will stop. The sun will still rise, but not for you. And that's not cruel. It's sacred, because your death isn't the end of your story. It's the chapter that opens eternity. The silence of not knowing when teaches you the value of now. Every act of kindness, every prayer, every moment of forgiveness, these are your secret investments in eternity. If you knew your death date, you'd probably start living only for that one day, as if heaven were a deadline. But when you don't know, every day becomes equally holy. That's why saints didn't ask, when will I die? They asked, how can I die ready? That's the silent lesson God hides inside mystery. He's not preparing you for the moment of death. He's preparing you for the eternity that comes after it. You see, fear is temporary. Faith is forever. And so the question isn't, when will I die? It's, will I be ready when I do? Part 6. Final reflection. If God appeared right now and said, your time ends tomorrow, how many things would you regret? Would you look at your phone and wish you had prayed instead? Would you think about the people you never forgave, the words you never said, the love you never gave? The truth is, we all live as if we have time, but time is the most fragile illusion of all. Every heartbeat is a drumbeat closer to eternity. Every night you sleep could be the last time your eyes close in this world. And yet, we waste days like they're infinite. What if every breath you take right now is being counted? What if heaven watches not how long you live, but how deeply you loved, how sincerely you believed, how often you turned back to God, even after failing? You don't need to know the day of your death. You just need to live so that any day could be the right day to die. If your heart is clean, if your soul is reconciled, if your love for God is sincere, then death will not be your enemy. It will be your homecoming. So live like you'll die tomorrow, but love like you'll never run out of time. Because when that final heartbeat comes, you won't wish for more time. You'll wish you had used it better. Life is not a race. It's a pilgrimage, and every step, every trial, every joy leads you closer to home. You were never meant to know the last chapter, only to trust the author who wrote it. So live without fear, forgive without hesitation, love without measure. And when your final moment comes, you'll realize you didn't lose time, you gained eternity. The word of the Catholic: like, share, and subscribe. And remember, one day you'll stop breathing, but your soul will start truly living.